You might think the next option is even weirder.
Bring it on.
I call it intentionalism. That's the view that all these things exist, but they exist because we think they do. The difference between a bunch of planks and a ship is the fact that we think it's a ship.
So the ship of Theseus only exists in our minds?
Not necessarily. Maybe it exists outside of our minds, but it's the relation to our minds that makes the difference. Let's just say it exists because of our minds.
And that's how it survives changes. If the parts change, we think of the new set of particles as the old ship.
Right, it's particles, but it's not just a specific set of particles. It's the set of particles that we humans think of as a ship.
And who has this theory?
A few philosophers here and there. And I think if Martin Heidegger gave us an answer, this would be it, and maybe John Dewey.
Well, it's interesting, but what about rocks? Do they exist?
Not independently of us.
So if all human beings went into a coma,
everything else but those smallest, atomic particles would stop existing. According to intentionalism.
I wonder if you could play around with the theory a bit. Maybe a thing doesn't have to exist because we think it does, right now. Maybe the time doesn't matter. What matters is that, at some point, conscious beings think it exists.
I thought about that.
Seriously?
I'm a philosophy major, and I'll answer with something Alvine Plantinga said.
Okay.
So, if intentionalism is true, then, before there were any conscious beings, there were rocks and dinosaurs. But they didn't exist by themselves.
Unless the dinosaurs were conscious.
Well, say they were not conscious enough, that only human consciousness works. Or else, stick to just the rocks that were there before the dinosaurs.
Okay.
Then along came humans, and started studying them.
And then they started existing.
No, then we made them so that they had always existed, if we use your suggestion that time doesn't matter.
Oh. Okay.
And that means that a bunch of geologists, just by thinking about rocks, made something happen in the past.
Yeah. That's a pretty awesome theory. But it's also really weird.